let's get the standard stuff out of the way, shall we? Okay, so, hi, I'm Comrade Bubbles. I go by Ryan. If you prefer to use my actual name when addressing me, that's fine. That works for me. I am not an official representative of Onyx Path. Also, I'm totally a professional. I'm totally not updating my show notes for this. I am merely a fan whom they have provided a platform to. As such, obviously, all of my opinions are my own. I do not reflect the Onyx Path's, policies in any way. I just try to answer questions as best I can. Speaking of questions, you'll note that it says, ask anything that you want about Onyx Path games or role-playing games in general. The point of the show, for those unfamiliar with it, is to show you behind the screen if you use a GM screen. I personally don't, but to show you the kind of the creation process of what goes into creating various things and kind of how I approach writing content. Everything here goes up on the relevant community content site, so if you are interested, you can check it out when it's finished. I generally post in the Onyx Path Discord when it's finished. Speaking of finished material, the previous series for Chronicles of Darkness, the Radford Estate, I know that that's horrendously delayed. I do apologise. I've just had so much going on top of all of this stuff that I just have not had time to even think about sorting that out for Storyteller Vault release. It is coming, I promise you. There is an introductory adventure for Chronicles of Darkness, Just Mortals, coming. I just haven't had the time to sort that out fully. So again, I do apologise. Please be patient. I do like 3 other self-employed stuff around projects around this, and everything is just, time is a constant battle. Okay, that's that. So, long-time viewers may remember that I say this every time, but I'm disabled. I do experience muscle spasms, which can lead to basically any muscle group can be affected, but it can lead to the muscles of my jaw and tongue being affected, which does mean I stutter occasionally or I slur my speech. Extremely rare cases, my head might jerk to one side. It hasn't happened on stream yet, but I feel like making people aware of when it might. And I do also struggle with multiple trains of thought, so I generally try to finish one before moving on to another. I will acknowledge your question if I see it while I'm talking, but that's just something to be aware of. Hopefully that's okay. And obviously that my standard start of show thing. If you are ever in any way interested in upcoming Onyx Path projects or products, the Monday meeting notes are definitely the way to go. Right now, for example, there is a Kickstarter on for They Came From Beyond the Grave, and then they said Beneath the Sea. That was the first one. And it gives you an update of what's going on, what was discussed in the Monday meeting. Of immediate importance, there's no Monday meeting notes next week, but of perhaps even more immediate importance. So far on this series of Behind the Scene, I've written, I think, down to the narrator. Yeah, down to the narrator. I've created several deities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 deities. As well as their kind of mythic, kind of general background of the Pantheon. Creating an entirely new Pantheon for use in an adventure, which I promise I'll get to writing at some point. I will. But a lot of the guidance that I'm using for this Pantheon creation, and we're going to do the whole Pantheon, we're going to have the principal members, we're going to have the Titans, although with my own twist on those, we're going to have birthrights, relationships with other Pantheons, if I can think of any decent jokes. But a lot of that guidance is coming from the Scion Companion. Now, I was fortunate enough to be in a position to back Scion on Kickstarter, so I got the backer preview of the Companion. If you were not in a position to be able to afford the Kickstarter, or you've come to Scion late, and you want to know what information I am looking at, or just want the really cool Atlantean Pantheon to be available in your games, the Monday meeting notes has announced that the Companion will be available this Wednesday. So if you are interested, yeah, I'm going to have to turn that fan If you are interested in the material I'm using or any of the other additional rules or explanations provided in the companion, you don't have to wait much longer. It's coming out on Wednesday. The companion is full of stuff like alternative crafting rules that actually, I think the intention is they're more in line with the future, like they're future-proofed, so they're slightly different to the ones in the core book. Pantheon creation and purview creation and loads of other things that you can tack creation to the end of, and it works. I'm going to go turn my fan on before I overheat too much, and then we'll get right into it with the recap of what I've done so far. I kind of touched on that. Just note it's Wednesday the 12th, not tomorrow. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Yes, Wednesday the 12th. So that's a week. That's a week tomorrow. Thank you, Ricky Tiki Tavi. Thank you for correcting me on that one. What that does mean, however, it's one of those things where I just assumed for some reason it's the 11th. This show is fortnightly or bi-weekly if you prefer. I know fortnightly isn't used all over the world in the English-speaking world anyway. Because this show won't be on next week, it does mean that if you do get it, you have a week to digest the information contained there and then heckle me on my next show with how you would do things better. And I'm totally open to being heckled, by the way. Open to answering questions and to taking suggestions. Any ideas that make it in will be credited via the amazing power of the video recording. These videos go up on my YouTube channel, which is Comrade Bubbles. There's like 2 random ones from the first season. Technically season 2, but from the first season I ran here on the Onyx Path channel, on the Onyx Path YouTube channel. It's like episodes 2 and 4 or something. I don't know why. But if you are interested in the creation process from the very beginning, feel free to check out my YouTube channel, as a Comrade Bubbles, where everything goes up a week after it is recorded, as subscribers to the Onyx Path Twitch channel have a week's exclusivity to videos on demand. I'm still feeling rather foolish about that slip of the tongue about saying tomorrow and not the 12th. Again, I apologise. All I can do is blame absent-mindedness and I'm a very, very nervous streamer, which is not great, considering I stream on my own Twitch channel as well. Anyway, so, recap. As I mentioned, I have described 6 of the principal members of the Inkborn Pantheon, the Inkborn Pantheon being an extremely reductive pantheon of narrative archetypes, hence why they don't even have names. They are simply the Adventurer, the Creator, the Guardian, the Hunger, the Innocent, the Narrator, the Stranger, the Traveller, the Truth, and the Warrior. If you want to name them, if you choose to use this pantheon yourself and want to name them, go ahead. I don't mind. As I say, the intention is to explain how things are done. Not how things are done. How I approach doing things. Obviously, your methods may differ, but if I provide even the barest hint of inspiration, or I can help you with a problem that you have encountered in your own content creation process, then really that's the purpose of the show. It's also just a way of interacting with the community and helping kind of bridge the tabletop and community divide that kind of is usually there with more traditional shows on the channel, like just watching people play in Scarred Lands, or They Came From Beyond the Grave, or whatever. So I'm going to grab my keyboard. I have to use a separate keyboard for this because my laptop keyboard, which is the more comfortable one for me to use, makes the webcam shake a lot. So I have a keyboard on my lap. So if I look down, I promise I'm not looking at my phone or anything. I'm genuinely trying to find a key on the keyboard. Let's get started, shall we? So, as I mentioned, done the principal members, and last time we did the narrator, John Watson, Randolph Carter, Scheherazade. Hydrate, you know what, Jack Splat? This is something that I do on my own channel, and I'm glad the Onyx Path are doing it now. Cheers. I forgot I'd made that with hot water. Oh, ow. Whew. That's warm. Lemon and ginger infusion. It's great for the throat, terrible for the tongue when it's freshly brewed. So, The Stranger. Let's pull up my list of public domain literary characters because I do not want to get sued. And because I am a one-person show, I don't have a legal team. I cannot do in-depth research into who and is not, public domain. I'm going to put my list on my second monitor, so it looks like I'm looking at the webcam, just to creep you all out. Okay, so the Stranger. I was thinking more something along the lines of like Stranger in a Strange Land. Have I already used Raoul de Chagny? I used Christine. I remember using Christine. And feel free to interject with questions at any point. A lot of this show is just me typing and talking to myself or narrating what I'm typing so that there's no dead air. So I'm totally open to people asking questions. I have nothing else going on this time slot. Also the only stream of the day on this channel. So if I overrun a smidge, it's not terrible. It's not too bad. Obviously, I try not to overrun too much because then I'm taking advantage of Knight's Path. Is the aim literary character aliases? It is. It's also public domain literary character aliases. Just because I, again, do not want to get sued. This is also a great way of just teaching myself about literary characters that I've never even heard of. Like, where was it? Where did it go? Balau, the demon baboon. Anyway, where is it? I know it's Raoul. Is it the Baron of Chagny? Where's he gone? John from Brave New World might fit this Stranger in a Strange Land vibe. That was the vibe, exactly the vibe I was going for. Let's check. As in the Aldous Huxley Brave New World. Published in 1932. I can never remember how long copyright takes to. Brave New World entered the public domain on the 1st of September 2008. In every country but the United States, apparently. Oh, well. Should be fine then. Characters. Just John. Cool. Yeah, I guess John. Should I just put John Carter for clarity? Like, I know it's obviously not the same character, but just John doesn't tell you much about the character, unless I include where they're from, which I haven't been doing. Also, where did... You know what? Control... Hang on. Where's Burroughs gone? John Carter, Warlord of Mars. There we go. Anyway. Raoul, Vicomte, not Baron. Vicomte de Chagny. Gulliver's going to be in The Traveller. John Huxley could be an homage to the author as well. That is true. That is true. Tell you what then. Just going to do a really quick check to make sure there isn't another character called John Huxley not in the public domain. I think we're good. I think we're good. So, John Huxley, Raoul Vicomte de Chagny. Man, I really need to reread Brave New World. I also need to get used to this keyboard again. It's been like a week since I typed with it, so I have no idea where all the keys are. Raoul Vicomte de Chagny. And... because I'm trying to avoid repetition as well. So where some of them might be a good fit, like John Carter, I might put John Carter as a traveller, along with Gulliver from Gulliver's Travels. And I'm thinking Alice. I don't think I used Alice. Why did I open that? I don't need to open that. I don't think I used Alice as the innocent. I did not. Just as a way of saying like, hey, these people are varied and can be the archetype can mean many different things. Anyway, Oh, oh gosh, the solicitor from Wuthering Heights, who is like being told the story. What's his name? I should really know this, as Wuthering Heights is one of my favorite novels. Cue everyone leaving the channel. Lockwood. There we go. What's his first name? Mr. Green? Wait, the characters. Oh, it's just Mr. Lockwood. Great. I was hoping for more than just a Mr., but there we go. You never learn his given name, huh? Cool. Cool. Heathcliff. Heathcliff is also a stranger in that story. Although I'm intrigued by where Mr. Green comes from. Please do elaborate. So, and then what is it? It's their stories, their incarnations, and then their scions. Beep, beep. This is what we're doing for the whole stream, by the way. I'm just typing, asking questions of chat, etc. The stranger. Should be obvious from their name. I also randomly sing what I'm typing, which is a shame because I can't sing very well. I should be obvious from their name. Stranger is usually someone who enters. I haven't read Wuthering Heights in entirely too long, so just put the wrong character from story. Turns out. Oh, no worries, no worries. I couldn't even remember Lockwood, so there we go. The story from an outside perspective. So I'm hoping that the microphone isn't picking up this keyboard. This keyboard is slightly quieter than my laptop keyboard. So there's also no motion sickness from the webcam shaking, and hopefully less key clacking in the background. I truly don't understand people who like mechanical keyboards, but I am also very sensitive to sound, so that might be my problem with them. Either acts to fit in or alters. Hence they find themselves embroiled, because no one uses the word embroiled enough. Embroiled in by their very nature as being somewhat. Oh, no, that's enter, not apostrophe. Other. Or in this case, obviously, air quote. I need to get back into this, to the swing of things. I think this is going to be another. I'm going to try and not make this stranger a trickster, because there are plenty of tricksters already in this Pantheon. Stories can end. Just want to say thank you all for being here, by the way. I know it's a different way of streaming and not to everyone's taste, but I appreciate it, and I'm sure the Onyx Path do as well. Well, Onyx Path Publishing does as well. Their stories can encompass any genre and theme. There we go. Involve at least one lesson, whether explicit or not. As a result, many of the Inkborns worshippers, again, or I say again, but for those of you who have not been here before, the Inkborns Worshippers are just book fans. That's it. That's all I've got. This is a very like superficial pantheon, but I don't have the time to really go into more mythic world building than I already do for my Patreon. So apologies for that. Anyway, as a result, many think Born to Worshippers post frequent. No, where's the cube? There it is. Frequently on internet fora and social media pages. Questioning whether should be called a trickster or not. Whilst Western storytelling tradition, very strange not being a trickster, feel that writing is true, so the strangest tricksters, user outcasts, all these used are outside of nature, maybe liminal and leaders, two callings. Yeah, liminal I was definitely leaning towards leader works as well. I'm glad that I'm not alone in that thought. Often posit the, I guess, benefits of chaos for learning. Stranger is more likely to teach others through their own actions, or I guess deeds and actions, technically different things. Strange is more likely to teach others through their own actions or deeds than by prompting external change. It is not to say they cannot. It's entire Pantheon is non-binary as well for anyone watching. I'm just using they to refer to all of them. Because, as I said, it's extremely reductive and they're archetypes. So if you find a character that you like that fits one of these archetypes, but is, male, female, trans, non-binary, whatever, go ahead. There's no canon gender for any of these. I mean, this never stopped Zeus either, I guess, or Loki, but. Anyway, that is not to say they cannot or will not deceive others. But the I guess point is to better themselves. No. The manner in which the lesson is taught is not as important as the lesson itself. By their very nature, Stranger is enigmatic and frequently draws attention when they appear. From the others, they share the. Going from a laptop keyboard to a proper desk keyboard is really messing my typing speed as well. Frequently draws attention. This is also first draft. Please do not think this is going to be the finished product. I'm going to go back through and tidy up grammar and stuff eventually. As they share their stories with. And they are as likely to thrive on that attention as they are to shrink from it. The strangers, incarnations. Whoop, scroll down. There we go. Ow. Sorry, I shifted position slightly. My hip popped. The strangers, incarnations are varied, but united by a needs to travel and explore new places. This is not the same as the wanderlust that drives the traveller. Comes from a place of don't like the sentence. But it's a manifestation of their need to teach others and to learn new from new experiences. So obviously the travel is more about just the traveling, and obviously like Gulliver learns things and John Carter learns things, but they also just travel and explore. Strange is more about learning from what you're doing, I guess. As such, they are often in positions where they are given a certain degree of freedom to travel. I mean, yeah. But will frequently record their experiences to show others after the fact. They are not. They are more likely, let's say, to be the travelling lecturer. Right, British English uses 1L, I think. Anyway, I'll fix that. They're more likely to be the travelling lecturer on international politics, or the award-winning travel writer. And that member of the office who insists on showing off their holiday pictures. At the other end of the scale, the strangers' incarnations are also teachers and I guess just other educators raising awareness of other cultures and practices. In recent times, although it's a recent Pantheon, but obviously your game, you can make this Pantheon as old or as young as you want. It can also be found protesting excessive fuel consumption usage. And advocating for the return of, I guess, classical modes of travel. 3, 6, 9, 10. 3, 6. Yeah, that works. Okay, so the scions. Stranger scions can, perhaps unsurprisingly, be found throughout the world. You know what? While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to move my PDF so that I can see chat while I'm scouring for callings and purviews. Hero. There we go. That is prepared. Do I need this Word document open anymore? I don't think I do, so let's just close it. It's one less thing for me to keep clicking on. The stranger scions can perhaps unsurprisingly be found throughout the world, and are some of the most cosmopolitan and open-minded people you could ever meet. They do find themselves gravitating towards positions to allow them to travel, are more likely to run their own travel blogs or anonymously submit accounts of their travels and their parent. What? Their nature as a go-between's hyphenated, right? It's hyphenated now. Go between for the stranger and the rest of the world. What was I going to... There was a point to the sentence and I cannot recall what it was. I guess I'll just make it up as I go along and hope that it makes sense. Go between for the stranger and the rest of the world. They develop a keen sense of compassion and a facility for languages. Pause to hydrate. That's much better now. It's not burning my tongue. Or scalding, I guess technically it's a liquid. Means they develop a keen sense of compassion and a facility for languages, rivaled by few others. Scions are also likely to be members of foreign aid organizations or community outreach programs dealing with or dealing in. Interesting. As a result, they are often fairly prominent within certain subsections of their societies. Of course, buried beneath the compassion and equality is a desire to teach others. Let's say a need each other's, and many frequently moonlight as night school lecturers. Or informative bloggers, I guess. So not quite the same reach as their divine parent, but they still have some reach. Oh, that's supposed to be many. There we go. So, callings, definitely liminal. Leader, I'm also a big fan of. I guess Sage. Battle on time. Yeah. I'm glad chat agrees with me. Sage 100%. Excellent. Right, let's see. Hunter, Liminal, and Sage. Creator, Leader, and Sage. This is a smart Pantheon, apparently. Guardian, Healer, Leader. I mean, obviously, there's only so many callings, so he's a little trickster. Right, the Innocent, I might get rid of Leader from. Honestly, I might go with Guardian for the Innocent. There we go. And for my own peace of mind, let's just alphabetize. There we go. I will also go through this when it's finished and make sure that like all of the callings are represented. Just trying to. I think they are. None of them are a warrior yet, but there's one literally called warrior. Actually, I think the Guardian's a warrior. No, Guardian, Healer, Leader. I might replace this with warrior. But I'll see which ones that, like, if there are too many instances of one of the callings and fix it. Okay, purviews. Obviously journeys. Let's see what else. There we go. Art, probably not. Beasts again. Like beasts is a maybe. Beauty probably not. Chaos. Darkness maybe for more like the fact that they're coming from a place of secrecy and unknowing. But nah, it's a bit tenuous. None of the epics. Fortune maybe. I know Journeys and Stars. So the guidance is between 3 and 5. Between 3 and 5? Is it 3 and 7? I think it's 3 and 7. I think it was 3 and 7. I'm usually aiming for around 5 anyway. Yeah, so Fortune is a possibility. Oh, hang on, I've got to get the companion to the right page. Where's the thing on? Never mind, I could have sworn there was a thing on how many, a recommendation. Anyway, that's by the by. Moon maybe for kind of like that shining hidden truth, illuminating hidden truths. The main downside of this Pantheon is there aren't many with like Frost or Sky. Although I might include that under the Warrior. A war, probably not. Sure, let's go with fortune. What was I thinking? Fortune is over here. And prosperity. Because I think the traveler is more likely to be more along the lines of beasts for, you know, interacting with them, that kind of thing. The traveler's also probably going to have earth. I think I gave the adventurer earth. I did. The traveler might have water. Anyway. What was that? There we go. Let's try for a fifth one. Let's see if there's a fifth one that fits. Oh, I will also be doing a Pantheon-specific purview for this Pantheon. It's probably going to time with Fate Binding. Oops. Misclick. Could have Water and Sky. You are right. That is a good point. 1 second. That's why I was thinking of the traveler having Water and Sky. Just trying to think what hasn't been used. Obviously, to give you the option to use it in your own games. Although, again, like if you're using this in your own game, you can totally just give them whatever purviews you want. I really don't care. I'm here to provide a seed or a basis for a chronicle and a pantheon and a good story, rather than saying, this is how you must do it. I have written this, it must not be changed. That is not my way at all. So, yeah. Anyway. Sometimes selective exclusion can be a good literary theming. It's true, it can. And not having too many, like, war deities is kind of the idea here. Where it's used as definitely for importance. What do I have, anyway? I'm probably going to get rid of at least one from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because this is the full 7. I might get rid of fortune, but that's so that the second go around anyway. They're all pretty well represented apart from the elemental ones, which is fair, you know. Don't have to have something in, for all of them. I might just leave it at fortune, genius, prosperity, and stars. Although I could make a case for order or chaos, not both. Hang on, where is it? Because a lot of the strangers, like Heathcliff, Raoul, from what I recall of Brave New World John as well, like they're generally used to highlight a certain way of doing things as the right way and a certain way of doing things as the wrong way. And then conversely, you have the other way. You have them as like the embodiment of shaking that way. Yeah, I can't say chaos or order. Let's just see which I've got more of, shall we? I know I've got quite a few with chaos. So that's chaos, 1 chaos, 1 of both, 2 of both. I've got 2 of both, so we're going with chaos. Chaos. Because I wasn't sure whether to lean in towards them. They're usually shaking up or highlighting or saying this is the right and wrong way. But you are correct. The intention is usually that they shake things up rather than kind of prove the rule of law. So chaos works quite well there. Okay, the Traveller. Gulliver. Who the heck is John Carter? John Carter of Mars. Where's that window gone? There it is. I mean, there are loads of these. Let's just try not to repeat ones. Do I go Long John Silver? I'm kind of tempted with. I mean, I could do like Robinson Crusoe, but did I use Long John Silver? I may have already used Long John Silver. Or did I go with Jim in the end? Or stay well away from Treasure Island? I think I might have stayed away from Treasure Island. I guess Jim is... Oh, no, Jim's an adventurer. Never mind. So, Long John Silver's a possibility. I just like pirates. Let's see, what else? Cool. Didn't realize that your username was actually a literary character in the public domain itself. Technically could be classed as a warrior or a guardian in this pantheon. Anyway, there's a very weird public domain list for those curious. Oh, actually, for those curious, this is the list I'm using. It's clearly not every character in the public domain, but it's a decent amount. Would have been the Guardian, yeah. I've never actually read the Jungle Book and the, short stories within it. Or have I? I think I started and then stopped for some reason. Anyway, that's by the by. Oh, Captain Nemo? Because I think I've used Challenger already, right? I think Challenger was an adventurer. Yeah. Good one for Captain Nemo. Now, do we go with Nemo, or is the point of view character ever named in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? This is also another place where I put Randolph Carter, had I not. As I pick Frankenstein's monster. Ooh, I do like it. I do like it. Let's go with that. But I've already used Randolph Carter elsewhere, so. Frankenstein's monster. You know what? Let's put creation. Let's not slur the poor thing. Let's put creation. Ooh, actually, the creation we could put for the truth. Although I might get rid of the truth. Could also be an example of crossover mantle. It could. Yeah, I was gonna do a thing like just a sentence somewhere saying like obviously a lot of these aliases cross over because that's the nature of archetypes. Let's have another quick check. The truth, by the way, is going to be like Moriarty, Poirot. Did I put Moriarty as the hunger? Nope. because he's still about truth. He just uses different ways of Sorry, I accidentally closed the window that the Streamlabs was capturing. Minimized it, sorry, and now it's broken. I'm so sorry. Where's the window capture source gone? No, really, where's it? Where's it? Did it delete the source when I minimized it? That would suck. It totally did. Okay. Just bear with me while I fix Streamlabs. This is a problem, actually, because I had it set up so you couldn't see the tabs I have open. Although, mostly just so you can't see my bookmarks. Hopefully it's an existing source. Okay. What is going on with Streamlabs right now? Properties. I assure you, Streamlabs, the window's there. Hopefully you didn't see something you shouldn't have seen just then. I fixed it, though. I fixed it. It's all good. Streamlabs is just weird. Right, the Traveller. That's what I was doing. One last real quick check. No, you know what? We'll leave it as Frankenstein's monster creation. There we go. Okay, so the Traveller. Happily, it's in alphabetical order. Hang on, did I use that opening there? I used as should be obvious from the name. Bound by no ties of loyalty to any land or people. At least to start with. Let's get rid of the second L. British English, I believe, uses a single L. I can never remember which of British and American English uses the single and double L. It's weird. Some of the differences between the two dialects. Anyway, bound by no ties of loyalty to any land or people, at least to start with. Traveller is typically portrayed as someone on a search for new knowledge and experiences. As a stranger often finds these things as a result of their travels are the end goal for the traveller. It's likely to be peaceful, as violent, or capable of violence. The traveller's stories typically highlight differences between cultures and historically have been tinged with colonialism and prejudice. Contemporary Traveller's... I very nearly put Traveller's Tales, and I was like, would that get me in a bit of hot water? It probably wouldn't, but let's not go there. Contemporary stories regarding the Traveller. Traveller, not spelt with an S, for anyone curious. Have largely moved away from this. And focus on how different peoples and places can coexist. There's something else here. I was going to say something else. What was it? Chat, you're psychic. You're really clever and helpful. Tell me what I was going to say. The stories are not without conflict. They are more likely to resort to diplomacy, subterfuge, or the ability to run away. I'm just going to put resolve in air quotes because it's not really resolving anything if you're running away from it. To resolve the problem, and they are to obviously older stories. There's going to be violence. Then they are to words. Honestly, I'm good with words, I promise. Bring violence? That's totally the wrong word. Initiate, there we go. Older mantles of the Traveller can still be encountered, who prefer solving problems with their fists. But these are in the minority. Like the stranger, Traveller finds positions they can use to travel with, but are more likely a more active part in the travel itself. As for them, journey is the important part. Is as important as the destination. I have to go and tidy up some language in between these two. But we'll get there. I'll do that probably off stream when I do the proofreading and editing passes. As a result, they are as likely to incarnate as a tour guide operator. As a self-employed, let's say as a self-employed travel writer. Unlike the stranger, who is likely to try and teach others the folly of their ways, or the adventurer travels purely for the thrill. Dangers they may encounter. Traveler is oh geez. Is a neutral party in conflicts. Flying around the world to encourage others. To cooperate based on a shared existence. Or the award, winning content creator, leading multi-ethnicity teams. Is that the right word? I think it's a really clumsy way of saying it. Super sure that's an incredible multi-ethnic. There we go. Thank you. I was like, that's not the right word. Thank you very much. What I would do without chat is flail. I flail when chat's not hit, when chat isn't interacting, and that's fine. Obviously, I recognize that people have other things to be doing. I know people watch this in the background while they're doing other things, and it's totally fine. It's never any I never want you to think there's any pressure to interact or anything, but I also have a typo. Where? Point out my typo, please. Zombie Toast is a great username, by the way. I've lost that. I've lost that entire sentence. Thank you. I found it. Again, this is our first draft, but the fewer errors there are in the first draft, the easier the second draft is. Leading multi-ethnic teams in conflict resolution workshops. Often underestimated through their perceived flightiness and lack of roots. Traveler knows the strengths of being constantly on the move. Hang on, I just need to check a word before I say it. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was the wrong word, but I had to check. Yeah, feel free to call me out on typos and things. Obviously, they're going to happen. Typing on stream is incredibly nerve-wracking, and narrating what I'm typing obviously takes away from the mental processes required to type correctly and quickly. And obviously, trying to keep this vaguely entertaining, sort of, maybe, hopefully, all combines for a non-ideal situation, which is why this whole process is artificially extended. Like, if I'm writing this on my own time, at my own pace, this would be done by now, whereas this is like 8 hours in, and we haven't even finished the 6 hours in, I think. Don't want to interrupt too much. No worries, Zombie Toast. Feel free to interrupt as much as you want. Onyx Path are basically happy for me to do this for as long as I want to, unless I, spout prejudiced diatribes, I assume, or break their terms, break their policies and things. So this project will take as long as it takes, and I'm happy to talk with people in chat and answer questions or discuss ideas, that kind of thing. I don't have all the answers, and sometimes chat pitching in helps me think about things from a different point of view. Anyway, their sounds are similarly driven to travel and have usually seen. Good to know, thank you. Oh, no worries. This is a community show. That's why I do it, so feel free to be a community. Their sounds are similar. That was a weird sentence. I don't know where that came from. I do apologise. It was super arrogant. Their sounds are similarly driven to travel and have usually much to the world. What? That's not a sentence. Get out of here. Much of the world. There we go. I'm hoping, because I'm currently on track to do it, that I'll at least have most of the warrior done by the end of the stream, and I'll just finish it off stream. And the next stream we can do birthrights and purview, Pantheon specific purview, which again, fate binding. Probably going to tie with fate binding somehow. Just got to think of an interesting mechanic. By the time of their visitation. Yes, exciting. Good. I hope so. Also, this will be available separate to the adventure that it's also going to be included in. So if you just want the Pantheon, that's fine. They're both going to be pay what you want though. So their sounds are similar to travel, and you usually see much of the world by the time of their visitation. Like their divine parent, I guess I should specify. They are often conflict mediators. Let's just say mediators. Mediators. They are often mediators. Or in roles that let them travel frequently. Many of the scions are flight attendants. I don't know why I put that extra E in attendance in place of the A. Many of the travellers, there's an apostrophe missing also. There we go. Flight attendants, cabin crew on cruise lines, or operate outdoor wilderness tours. It is frequently very difficult for the adventurer, stranger. Also, I guess people really like fate binding. No pressure on me then. It's frequently very difficult for the adventurer, the stranger, and the traveller to tell their scions apart, to tell their pre-visitation scions apart. Has led to a large number of adopted scions between. I guess we'll just led to a large number of adopted scions. I guess between the three. Visited by the three deities. The traveler is largely a hands-off deity, content to let their children follow their hearts. Has been known to suggest destinations on occasion. Sorry, has been known to suggest destinations that require a gentle touch. Words. I know they exist in here. Where are they right now? Who knows? Anyway, has been known to suggest destinations that... Oops, missed a space. Maybe the spark point? No. Let's just say the turning point. In brewing conflicts. On occasion. I always do that. Words are hard right now. Feels too early after a long week. Mizari. I mean, for me, it's 20 past 3 in the afternoon, but words are always hard when people are watching. Which, as a semi-professional GM and streamer, is a problem. Would you believe? Not that they're typically that much easier than Patreon material, but there we go. Anyway, I forgot the word points. There we go. But thank you for the support. I appreciate the words of support. Hope that you are doing well. Although I remember that you say you have me on the background a lot, so generally hope you're doing well, even if you're just listening. There we go. 3, 6, 8. 3, 6, that's about 10. I tried to aim for about 10 lines. We're getting a hurricane right now, but all's calm so far, and the stream is a nice distraction. I'm glad I can distract you from the worry of impending wind. Tides are great. I think the whole world's tired right now, and an allergy headache with allergy headache because in like hay fever allergy, because my partner really suffers with hay fever, and I know how much it sucks. Fortunately, I haven't suffered from hay fever in about 10 years. Apart from this year, because the lack of pollution meant that obviously all the pollen was in the air instead. Which is great. I had a couple of days of stuffy head. Anyway, one of which was, I believe, a stream. Allergic to everything indoors and out. Oh, I had a friend like that. I lived in the middle of the country as well, which wasn't the best place for him to live. More than any other deity in the Pantheon, though. Oops. Traveler encourages their scions to share their passions. Believing... No. I see if I was outside Oxfam and Lake District. Yeah. He lived in a small village called Draycott. It's kind of just in the middle of nowhere. I say small. I think it was a town. I think he had a church, which technically qualified as a town under British kind of civilization structure. That was a terrible way of explaining it. I don't like saying I've said more than any other a lot in this Pantheon write-up. More than anything, though, Traveler scions do their very best to encourage others to travel. Funding exchange programs. Got me? Oh, thankfully someone does. Funding / organizing exchange programs. And providing travel opportunities for those who otherwise wouldn't get them. Thank you. I noticed the blue line and I was just reading it and then realized where I'd gone wrong. Okay, so Journeys obviously is happening again. Liminal, sorry, for callings. And that's where it falls down. Sage, can't really. It's not exactly the point. Lover, yes. I'm thinking also Creator, but I don't know why. The joy of this is you can argue pretty much anything because they're so vague. Had the same thought? Well, if you had the same thought, that's what we're going with. Because the truth is going to be a hunter, so... Creator, Liminal, and Lover. Sorry. Itchy leg. Right, I never explained the Stranger because I've been trying to explain everything. So we'll just real quick touch on the Stranger. So Leader, because they try to teach others by example. Liminal is about journeys. Sage, because they're, again, it's the teaching aspect of things, about knowing things. Purview's Chaos, because that's generally how they teach, but it's not through deception in most cases. It's not the primary driver or method. Fortune, Journeys, and Prosperity and Stars all tie into Journeys and Success, which is generally the Stranger is successful. Generally, obviously there are exceptions. And then Creator, I guess you could argue that Traveler archetypes usually create like opportunities or meaningful change, or they bring their knowledge with them to a society that doesn't have the same kind of practices, and therefore they can bring their own. They can create the things that they miss using new technologies. Liminal, again, travel. Lover is more about the emotional side of traveling and the passions involved. Might not give them the passion Purview. We'll just give them Journeys and Stars because those are both about travel. I did like Water and Sky as well because those are methods of travel. Again, I'm glad that we're on the same wavelength. I mean, we both agreed on those suggestions earlier, but I'm glad we're on the same wavelength still. I'm just going to do a quick run through. Wild is a possibility because they're not hunting, so beasts to me doesn't have the same resonance with them. Beasts are probably going with the warrior because obviously a lot of stories that have a warrior in them, they have like an animal companion. I could see Order. Do I have a death one? Do I have any of them that have death? I feel like states are much about travelers. Oh, definitely. So I'm thinking Order. I'm just trying to think if any of them have death. So far, anyway. Death would be great, Grimmer Cyclone Phil. Also that is a good point. It's not looking like it, actually. I mean, the warrior, I think, will have death as well. Not only just like the causing of death, but also sometimes having to defend loved ones who are dead. Also, like Odysseus. I hope that gesture kind of conveys my thoughts on the feeling. Yeah, I might give the Traveler death. Yeah, definitely the Reaper archetype rather than the Death Giver, I guess technically. Yeah, we'll go with Death. Because they are going to have an over and at least one over and Underworld and Terra Incognite. Incogniti? I think that A diphthong's pronounced A. Anyway, just gonna check. Where is it? I've got to stop making that noise on stream. It's terrible. Does not come across on the microphone very well. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, order's more... Can Death Warrior also be about how you treat an opponent you kill or understand yourself as the bringer of death? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Actually, because I've basically made my decision and chat's agreeing with me, I'm just going to put Death down right here, right now. Yeah, I mean, the Warrior is definitely more violent than the Guardian is, but it's still, obviously, respectful of it. And obviously, a lot of times in stories, which obviously I think born are entirely based on fictional archetypes, the Warrior is very acutely aware of what they're doing and why they're doing it. So it's kind of tying in with the... I might not be happy about what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing it. But I'm doing it for what I think are the right reasons. John Wick, let's say. Not that I can use John Wick because it's not public domain, but that kind of vibe. Not so much the narrator would have death, they're the only person in the story generally speak for the dead. Ooh. They do only have 5. No, I like it. I like it. It also makes them less related to like the physical side of things, having death, because obviously a lot of these are purely, all of those apart from deception are more like physical and mundane emotional stuff, whereas death gives them that slight mystical narrative that someone apart from everything else would have. Unreliable narrator. Anyway. No, that's a very good point. Very well made. And this is exactly why I record these videos, because I link to the playlist when I release the adventure, or when I release the document, so that people can see where the idea came from. I'm still... The language I've used in the Traveler's Write-Up does suggest order, if I'm being honest. I just don't... If only there were a society purview. I'm not going to create that, don't worry. Yes, a bureaucrat of the dead rather than a psychopomp. So we have both the bureaucrat and the psychopomp. So we'll have a bureaucrat, a psychopomp, and a more active role, shall we say. 5's a good number in the fit, yeah. Obviously, I might add order eventually for a 6th one, but I know I've got some bloat further up, which I need to tweak. Like, this is 7, I think it is. 3, 6, yeah, this is 7, so I might trim it slightly. And we do have 2 with order already. I guess also the point of the traveler is usually the travel, not the conflict mediation or whatever. Okay, the truth. Aliases. James Moriarty. This entirely to subvert expectations. Try to put some money in the Italian Job and International Thieves. Always country hopping. Hell yeah. Man, I need to rewatch the Italian Job. Preferably the original, but the remake's not too bad. Where am I? There I am. This is James Moriarty, right? I'm doubting myself. Professor, technically speaking, I guess. Professor, yeah, Professor. I'll put the Professor. We'll be respectful. Isherwood from Earth abides us. That is, I have never even heard of that. Time to do a smidge of research. Cool. Yeah, but like, is it in the public domain? I need to know. Fine. Length of copyright. The trouble is, length of copyright changes based on what country you're in. It was written in 1949, so I think it's not in the public domain. It's usually 70 years after the author's death. Hmm. Now I'm curious. 1922 is the cutoff date, you think? Yeah, that sounds about right from the tiny bit of copyright research I did before just deciding to use a list of copyright-free characters. Where are they used on this list? United Kingdom, life plus 70 years. Yeah. Eek. The United States, 95 years from publication or 120 years from creation, whichever is shorter for anonymous works. Eek. If the author is known, it would appear to be life plus 70 years after that. So, about 1920-ish would suffice as the cutoff. Yeah, I'll just stick with this list. So, Professor James Moriarty. I just think the world needs to know more about Hercule Poirot. It was a really good suggestion, though. Unfortunately, obviously, public domain is what I'm restricted to. I thought Auguste Dupin was Poe's detective for the murder in the Rue Morgue. Could go with the theme and go with the actual Phantom from Phantom of the Opera. Although it does hide the truth. So maybe not as applicable. Jonathan Harker, maybe. They've got to consider eligibility. Cool. A lot of the difficulty here is aliases. Like if I were making this Pantheon up myself, it would be so much easier. But I left Frankenstein's creation there. I did, yes. Dr. Dolittle. I've never actually read Dr. Dolittle. Trying to think outside the box. No, that's fine. That's why I've reached like Jonathan Harker levels of suggesting names, because he's obviously recording the truth of what happened. Weird. Unfortunately, Dr. Dolittle is still currently being published by the looks of things. Also, yeah, I'd appreciate, obviously, diversity is also super important. And I will go back through my list of aliases and check for, you know, to make sure that diversity is a thing. Right now, I just grab names as they occur to me, mostly for yeah, I'm trying to avoid 3 detectives. This is why I've got the mastermind and the detective. I'm just trying to grab things that spur my imagination, and then I'll go through and make sure everything's as equal as possible. I mean, I could replace Frankenstein's creation with Alice Liddell, as in Alice's Adventures. Who is the speaker of truth in Shakespeare play? Puck. Also the narrator, I guess, but Robin Goodfellow could work. Jemima Puddleduck. Sorry, I default to A Midsummer Night's Dream. It's my favourite Shakespearean play. As the priest in Romeo and Juliet. Hamlet's father. Ghost of Christmas. Now we have too many options. Oh, why is this so problematic? You know what? The Ghost of Christmas. It's very out of the box, and I'm pretty sure it's public domain. Well, Scrooge is, so... Wait. Yeah, that's alphabetical order. 3 Ghosts of Christmas. Hercule Poirot. Professor James Moriarty. So I'm going to spoil it now, but basically there are no titans as such. There are just antagonistic versions of the deities. So Holmes could be a titan if you wanted. Yeah, I saw Scrooge. I didn't see the Ghost of Christmas, but thank you for letting me know that they are there. Okay, so... truth is typically portrayed as a hero. Capable of solving any crime or recalling any fact at... Thank you for helping, folks, by the way. I really appreciate it. Drop of a hate? No! I hate that! No! Get out of here. Recalling any fact at the drop of a hat. And I've gone from I'm finishing this week to I doubt I'll finish the truth this week. But it's the journey, right? At least that's what the traveler would have us believe. Recalling... I've gone to make... I'm at the point where I'm making jokes about my own creations. Gosh darn it. Or recalling any fact at the drop of a hat. Few people realize is that the truth. What even is that word apart from a really cool goblin name? Is typically opposed by itself. For what are lies and misdirection? But the truth in hiding. This is obviously going to have chaos, order, deception, trickster, probably sage, things along that line. Anyway, but the truth in hiding. Do I class it as a rhetorical question? I like the confidence of the Titans moves away from the idea of us, couldn't he? What is the word of phrase? Do you mean duology? Duality. There we go. Yeah, and like obviously because they are archetypes, that it's very much they know what it means to be the villain as well. So once I've gone through with all of this, I'm going to provide a short list of their Titanic purviews as well. Which calling they have access, which purview they have access to, if they're the antagonist, shall we say. For what are lies and misdirection, but the truth in hiding. Also, frequently forget that as the saying goes, truth cuts both ways. It can be a force for... And Sarah's having man versus woman and strict duality compared to spectrum of gender, if that's an accurate analogy. Yeah, shades. The morality scale. Hunter, trickster, sage, easy. Search for truth, truth, knowledge seems knowledge of what is true. Yeah, that's what I was going. That's what I was thinking along the lines of. You know what? Let's just add those now, so I don't have to do them later or next week. Thank you for confirming that I was having good thoughts. I want to avoid evil. Let's say selfish intentions. As much as it can be used to better society. This way, truth has pulled. Clearly, your alphabet is stronger than mine. I always mess up S&T. I'm a trained proofreader, so it helps, I guess. When typing straight out, like stream of consciousness typing, you really couldn't tell clearly. But like my main facility is with words and letters, so thank you for praising my alphabet. And this way, the truth has pulled. That's insert, not backspace. Possibly the greatest trick of all time. And convinced most people that truth and lies are two very distinct beings. They do very distinct things. avid worshippers of the truth are all too aware of the fact that the best lies are always at their heart, based in truth, sorry. Whilst their stories typically involve a search for the truth, do not always contain lessons, moral or otherwise, and let's say generally, not entirely, because obviously the Ghosts of Christmas are more emotional, but generally, also please excuse my wind, advocate for cold reason over passion. It should come as no surprise to learn that I'm gonna race against time here. I've got 10 minutes before I actually need to wrap the stream up. Hoo boy. It should come as no surprise to learn that the truth typically incarnates imperfections involved imperfections that deal with law and order, mysteries, or combination of the two. Some of the world's greatest lawyers have been the truth incarnated. WikiLeaks? Ooh, I like it. So have some of investigative journalism. That works as well. So have some of the world's greatest criminals. Less well-known incarnations have been award-winning investigative journalists. Or whistleblowers. There is one thing that holds true across any of the truth, across all of the truth serum. What about science? Oh, I'll get there. Okay, there, don't worry. I might touch on science in the Scions kind of paragraph. Mention it briefly and then kind of touch on it more there. No worries. No, enthusiasm is 100% to be encouraged. If there's one thing that holds true across all of the truth's incarnations, it is that not a capital truth, lowercase truth, was their greatest weapon, and that they denied anyone else the ability to wield. Man, this is a tyrant. I've made the truth a tyrant. Never mind. Award-winning investigative journalists, whistleblowers, or research scientists in cutting edge fields. I'm just going to put extra space there so it doesn't... I don't like typing up against the word, if that makes sense. Truth isn't one to sit back on their laurels and use the works of others, those who came before, let's say. The same. Oh, good. Glad it's not just me. Nope. Oh, you idiot. There we go. I will disparage myself quite often if you stick around for any of the future streams. Or if you go to my stream. Self-deprecating humor is basically all I have. That's it. Use the works of those who came before. For them, the pursuit of the truth seems to be the UK way. Maybe. For them, the pursuit of the truth is all that matters. That's a messed up sentence, and I'm going to fix it. That they are the ones pursuing it, or the ones obscuring it for others to find. Okay, the truth isn't one to sit back on their laurel, to rest on their laurels. That's a metaphor right there. Jeez, to rest on their laurels and use the works of those who came before. For them, the pursuit of the truth is all that matters. Let's use a semicolon. Whether they're the ones pursuing it or the ones obscuring it for others to find. No, you know what? Let's go with the parenthetical M dash, please. Right, Google Chrome doesn't work with that keyboard shortcut. Gosh darn it. Right, bear with me while I rescue an M dash from the depths of the internet. Hey, it worked. Is there focus more on the seeking of truth, the pursuit of the information that is found? Less the information that is... Their focus is on the core of whatever's being hidden, but they are equally likely to be the one seeking what is hidden as to be the one hiding it, if that makes sense. They, as I've tried to implicate in this sentence, they believe they are the only one that deserves to have the truth. Yeah, all three is a good interpretation as well. For the truth, they are, as I say, they are the ones that deserve. They believe themselves to be the only one that deserves to have the truth, and then it is up to others to kind of find it, I guess, or to listen when they choose to share it. So let's amend the sentence. They're the ones pursuing it. Sharing it or obscuring it. Does that clarify things more? They're both the pursuit, sharing, and obscuring of truth at the same time. Oxford comma? Yeah, we'll go with the serial comma. More of an American thing, but I do like an Oxford comma. There we go. I'm glad that clarified. Matters. You found me out? Oh gosh, no. It's fine. Oxford comma usage is one of those weird things anyway, so I like to use it personally. Although that might just be doing a lot of proofreading for American clients. Anyway. The scions. There we go. Those scions that choose to out themselves as children of the truth are those truth reveals. I was switching to look, have some more to go through. I'll be wrapping up after this paragraph. I will probably go through Purview's next stream, just because of time constraints. Like, as I say, I am the only channel streaming today, but I do still try to stick to the 2-hour slot that Onyx Path kindly let me use. Even if I am also the only mod here and technically no one else can stop me. I think I'm the only mod. I haven't checked users in chat, but the other mods usually say hi. So anyway, those signs that choose to out themselves as children of the truth, or those the truth reveals. Stick around then. I appreciate it. I'll only be like another 5-10 minutes at the most. And then I'll be heading to my own stream to do some stuff there. Which I'll explain more of when I finish this paragraph. Or elaborate upon, I guess, technically speaking. Anyway, all those the truth reveals are found in similar fields. Don't rush, though, to their diving parent. That's what happens when I rush. Unlike many other scions, however, they are likely to be in more prominent roles than the truth. I don't want to repeat their divine parent, so to reword this. Because I don't want to repeat the truth either. To the deity who spawned them. I'll just repeat it for now, just in the interest of making progress, and then reword that later. There we go. And that'll do my parent. Or at least in more publicly accessible roles. Frequently used as pawns / tools, depending on who you ask. By the truth, these scions are very open about their motivations and rarely lie, even if their intentions are illegal or otherwise dishonest, I guess. They are very much a smokescreen. The machination. That's, yeah, I was going to say that's a typo in it. The machinations of their divine parent. They don't mind, however, as whilst everyone is watching, they do. Them, they aren't paying attention to the schemes. Let's just say to the plans, because that's more of a neutral. It could be positive, could be negative, playing out in the background. above all, scions of the truth. Believe in their divine right to hide or reveal the truth, lowercase t, to others, and will go to great lengths to prevent those they do not trust from controlling it. Hope that all makes sense. Okay, so it's 4:05. The stream's hit 2 hours and 2 minutes, so yeah, it could have been better. I'm going to end the YouTube recording now. So YouTube, thank you for watching. As always, if you want to leave a comment to query anything, totally happy to answer any questions. And see you around YouTube.